Welcome back to Dextor Plays Vintage Story. Welcome back to Dextor Plays Vintage Story. We just dropped into the game. I've just loaded everything up. You can see some stuff in the background loading. And we're going to take a look here. Very first thing, when you drop into the game, I would suggest you do a quick check of your map. Just look around, see what there is. You're looking for a few things. This kind of a shape here is a trader. Traders are not going to be useful for you in the beginning because you need to be able to trade in gears for that. But you're also looking for things like this. This is a ruin. Ruins are helpful. There's a ruin over there. We're also looking for some discoloration on the ground, like this. This is either peat or clay. So wherever I set up, I want to be near some peat or clay. And so I'm picking up a direction. And you don't want to go outside of what you see here on the map. So here's the map. If I go all the way back out, this is the world map. It is not all inclusive. There is 1,000,000 by 1,000,000 blocks, but I think this looks interesting. I see some discoloration, I think, right there. So I might have, and I see some there. So that looks like it might not be a bad place. Plus it looks like it might be low. Let's go over there. So if I look on the map, it's over that way. I'm going to go over here towards towards this trader, and then we'll get on going. A few things about the game. I'm going to scroll myself over here to like 9. These cattails are going to be important. We're going to come back for those. But get over here to the water. We know where we're going to be heading to. Get over the ground. But I need to find rocks and sticks. This will be the beginning of my crafting. Here I found obsidian. Very nice. Any stone, any hard stone is going to be worthwhile to you. You need at least 2. And I'm running around here taking a look. Ooh, rye. In the map, if you find yourself somewhere where, like, I don't want to forget something, you can click on it. Do that. Hold on. Let's go into the music. There. Get that down a little bit. Back again. You can go into there. You can right click on the map and it'll give you add a waypoint. And I'm going to say rye. Rye. So I know where this is when I come back to harvest it. You can give it any kind of a color. There's actually all of the colors in HTML. You can pick your basic ones, of course, if you want to. And then you've got an icon to assign to it. I usually like to do this for food, either animal or vegetable. And now that I have that there, done. I can come over here and pick up some claystone. And all I'm doing is left clicking or right clicking on these. There's some flint. More flint. Onions. Nice onions. Keep track of all your stuff here. I strongly suggest, especially in the beginning when you're running around, don't take a whole lot of time. Keep it moving. And then we're looking for also sticks. Wow. More rye. I think I'll leave that there because I've clicked a few things and I want to keep moving. All right, let's see if these... I don't think clay is going to work, so if I shift, click, and put guy down... Nope, too soft. And it says, see that red? It tells you it's too soft for knapping. Knapping is when you're going to try to create knives and axes and stuff. So I need to find myself either some more flint. There's some flint. So now I have some pieces of flint. Let's go ahead and click on a thing. I'm going to get the left click, left control, click down. If you're using flint, it'll immediately bring up the recipe. If you're using another hard stone, you have to do it twice. Once to put it down, once to do some knapping. I'm going to grab a knife blade. And now if I hit the Alt key, it'll lock my cursor so I can move it around. Otherwise, I don't. So I'll do Alt, push my left mouse button, and now I can go through here, and all the yellow stuff needs to go away. Now, one thing you can do is if you look at how I do this, if I click this, it's disconnected from all that, so everything else is assumed to have fallen off. Don't matter about screwing up. In knapping, it won't let you. When you get into smithing, it will let you screw up, so that'll be something different. Now that I get that last piece, boom, I've got 2 knife pieces in my hand. I can't do anything with them yet because I need sticks. Sticks. All right, I'm going to be heading over towards my spot. There is another way of getting sticks. You can look at these things here. This is a bush. If you break it down, sometimes it has a chance to get a stick. But it's not random. So that doesn't, these aren't going to generate sticks. I'm trying to get down to where I can see the brown in it. See, there's some brown in there. That's a stick. Bing. Got myself a stick. There's another one. And I think that's about it. So now I can create in my crafting section some knives. Okay. Now with the knives, the next thing I want to do is I want to grab cattails. You can also use, instead of sticks, you can use bones. If you come across bones for some reason, kill a critter, you can use the bones in place of stick. That'll work just fine. But we're going to craft as much of this, and we also should try to gather food. But the only storage I currently have is my hotbar. So be selective about what you grab. The clay stones, for example, are likely going to be tossed away because they aren't adding any real value to me at the moment. I mean, I can't do anything with them. And if you want, you go. Q! Tosses them all in there. If I walk over there, I'll pick it up again. Here's one of the traders. We'll take a real quick peek at the trader. Gonna click open through there. The E usually is your interact button. I've marked it to my left mouse, or my right mouse. So you come up here, I can talk to him. And he's a hunter, so he has all these things for sale. And I can sell to him this stuff over here. And actually, there's some things in here I can actually create and sell to him at a reasonable cost. So that might actually be something I'm going to do. There's some spelt. The spelt, the rye, they are all grain-oriented foods. You can't process them just yet. You need a millstone for that. We won't get to that until later, much later. So, how much of this should I harvest? A stack if you can, but keep track of the time of day. I'm going to want to get over to my basis area, and we will set up something for the night. We're not quite there yet. I do have enough materials here for flint. I need to craft one more item, which is going to be an axe. At this stage, I wouldn't suggest crafting a spear. If you hear dogs, if you hear a wolf cry, just stop doing what you're doing and run. They usually cry before they attack. Mostly. You will also not need to worry about drifters, which are the general enemy in this game, until nighttime, unless you are somewhere where there's shade or darkness. They do have a light sensitivity spawn area, so if there is light in a specific area, they're not supposed to spawn. There is some exceptions to that, but that is typically the case. If we look at the interface, you can see in the upper right-hand corner, I've got the mini-map, so you can see what's immediately around me. I can see which direction I'm facing. Right below that is giving me the direction I'm currently facing and my current coordinates on the map. These are relevant for you if you're trying to keep track of where you're at. I've seen gameplay where people will turn everything off and just make it super hard for themselves. Feel free if you want to. I just picked up basalt. Basalt is hard. Basalt will work. The various types of hard stone that you're going to find is going to be flint, granite, chert, andesite, basalt, obsidian, and peridite. Or there we go. There's some more basalt. I'm heading over to my future place that I'm going to be camping out at. Let's go ahead and keep grabbing this stuff. So the cattails come from the top. The cattail roots come from the bottom. You can replant the roots if you want to keep growing cattail somewhere. So eventually you might want to make a cattail farm. The roots can also be cooked for food. So that's actually going to be my food source. It's going to be the cattail roots. At least for the very short term. If you find berry bushes, you can grab those. If you find something else that's consistent, I would suggest not grabbing carrots and or other things right now. Mark where they are, come back later, because you just don't have the storage capacity for it. But let's talk about storage capacity. If you take these cattails and you make a little U, you can create a basket. You can see it says quantity 3. I can also burn them if I want to. I can take that and put it in my inventory. Now look, I've got 3 spaces. I can do this again. Now I've got 3 more spaces. I can do it one more time. Now I've got some spaces to put stuff. I'm going to go ahead and stick my obsidian, my basalt up there. And we will continue to grab more of these. So I'd like to have 4 baskets to maximize my storage right off the bat. So first day, I think you should be able to gather enough roots for food. I think you'll need something like 20 to 30 roots to feed you for a day. And we don't want to keep doing this every single day because it takes a lot of time. But now that I've got some space, I'm going to get back up here. I'm going to go ahead and do another napping. This time I'm going to nap myself an axe head. And we take a look down there, and then I go again. You need to see my shadow in the background. Chop, 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 chop. Not very nice. All right. So I can put that up here. If I had some sticks, I can make it. I don't. We'll pick that back up. I got to find more sticks. That shape right there, those are berry plants. Go grab my basalt. If you right click, you have to have an empty slot on your hotbar to pick it up. But then you can just pick it up. Those are kind of nice. You'll use those for later, but we're going to keep them. We'll leave it there. So if you look at the bush, it'll tell you, hey, look, it's ripe. So if I right click on it, it'll put the berries in my inventory. And if I'll right click on the berries, I eat them. Definitely something to do as you come through here. Grab those things. There's more spelt. So I will drop that on my... Where am I? There I am. Spelt. Yellow. Swirly. Personal favorite. All right, so let's head up here. I'm going to find a couple of... Here's some bushes. So if I break this down, the one in the middle should be a branch, stick. Yep. Now I got some sticks. I got the pointed stick. Shut up. What do I got here? Flax. That absolutely. If you come across flax, if nothing else, always mark where your flax is at. In fact, I'll change that to a little bit of slightly different color to see if it jumps out. Gold is versus the... Yeah, it jumps a little bit. Just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves the axe. There we go. I'll put this down on my hotbar. I can nap one more thing, which I think is going to be a shovel. Need an open space. There we go. Let's get a shovel head. And I have all of my early tools. Keep grabbing, as you do this, all of the other... Well, not while you're napping, but keep grabbing all of the stones and sticks that you find. You're going to need a lot of these. And let's see. I can put this away now because I don't have enough of those. I saw... Yeah, over here. Here's a ruin. Ruins will usually have a vase in there somewhere that have stuff in it. I'm not going to break that open just yet. I have a larger one over here. Let me grab my basalt, flint. Ooh, I think that was flint. Okay. So here I've got, this is interesting. There's a forge here already. I have never seen this one. There's some storage stuff there that I'm not going to be able to utilize. I have to break those vessels. But I like this. This is nice. I found a home. I definitely found a home. All right. So, when you get to your place, you're going to need to secure it a little bit. So, we're going to go ahead and grab some dirt. Oh, wrong thing. Let's actually use a shovel. The axe digs, but I don't need it to dig. And I would suggest that there's two ways of creating a defense. The critters that are going to come after you at night can only go up one block. So if you have the blocks up 2 spaces high, you are pretty much safe. They sometimes can stack themselves, so be careful of that. They also have a distance of 1, so clear out everything around your area that you've chosen 2 spaces out. So you can do it like this. Now this wall is secure from this side. And I can actually even use this stuff that I've created to block this stuff off if I want to. So for example, doing that. Nice. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to harvest, by the way, is going to grab these pieces of grass. Use a knife and you will get grass bundles. You're going to need a bunch of this. Ideally, you want to have a stack of grass and a stack of sticks by nighttime. You may not get quite there, but certainly balance that out. If you get 30 grass, switch to sticks. Once you get the sticks, switch back to grass. And also enough wood, or enough stones for napping. Say maybe 12 at least. But you can see this goes kind of quick, but it's also taking away the durability on my knife. My knife will break, and I'll have to nap up another knife. Do not stack up all the knapping stuff at this point in time. Don't go through and create 5 or 6 knives. You don't have the storage for it, and it's not necessary. Utilize the stacking of the rocks as your resource so that you can create whatever it is that you need at the time on the first day. And see, so I'm out. So I'll go ahead and grab my flint, do that, grab some more knives, do some knapping. And you can get to the point where you can get pretty quick with your knapping. It is a constant pace at which he hits, but you can drag them. If you drag the mouse at the right speed, you can usually get it going pretty good, but every once in a while you'll miss something. Cool. All right. So now I need sticks again. I'm really hurting on sticks. You can use an axe to clear out for sticks. Like that. And then also you can use that to chop down the trees, which we need to do. Grab, I don't know, 12. You know, there's a lot of stuff to grab on the first day, and it's going to be a challenge. But I know that you're up for it. Grab those. I'm going to head right back inside here real quick. Let's see, there's some more work to do. And I think this looks like a great place to put a fireplace, so let's go ahead and place that down. I'm going to sneak. I'm going to get my grass bundle. I'm going to click. There's a little thing of grass there. Next, I need to take the wood that I just chopped and the axe I used to chop it, and that'll make firewood, which I will put down in my hotbar. And if you sneak and add 4, you now have a fireplace. Now I need 2 sticks and a blade of grass to create a fire starter. And I can light this thing on fire. Just keep your sneak down, hold your right mouse button, and just let it keep going until it stops doing that little animation with the fire starter there, which, you know, this sometimes can take a little while. And we'll find ways to do this better later, but this is the way you started up in the beginning. I got really lucky with this location. Typically my first location is some kind of crazy little column nerd pole that I've built in the beginning. Alright, so now I'm going to look off to the side. I'm going to hit tab to open up my inventory. I'm going to right click on the space. I have to do that so I can see what's going on. I'm going to throw all these things in there, and then where's my roots? I'm going to throw my roots in there, and I'm going to let that cook, and I'm going to be out. Let's go. So I've used up all that wood. I still need to get more put my axe in the right spot. I still need to get more sticks. I can use the axe to get sticks. It's kind of overkill, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here and grab some trees. My suggestion, and of course some knapping material. My suggestion is stick with one type of tree. If you find a bunch of birch in the area, just hit birch. Each of these types stack differently, just like in Minecraft, they stack differently. You want to make sure that you get some kind of economy out of your storage. So pick up a bunch of wood. You can always stick this stuff into your inventory. Like that. Grab some obsidian. When you find stuff like obsidian here, so for example, if I mark my thing here and I say obsidian, and I'm going to pick white, and I'm going to pick the mining icon. And the reason for that is you will find on the surface some samples of what you might expect to find down below. So if I'm coming across obsidian like this, that means that there's a layer of obsidian under the ground somewhere. There is one other resource that's going to be very important for you to keep an eye out for, and that's going to be your copper. If you see any copper, you want to be able to get that stack stuff and be able to store it somewhere. So you want to make sure you do have some space within your inventory to put that. And I'm still having a problem with sticks. Oh, no, don't get that one. Oh no, where's my... I'm going to have to violate my own rule. No. I need birch. There's a lot of birch over here. Oh, yeah, obsidian. Very good for knapping. Wow, lots of obsidian here. This is awesome. That was an obsidian. Flint. There we go. Cool. Oh, and berries. Give me some berries. That way I can eat. All right, now I finally got my tree. When you chop down trees, if there's leaf sets up there that have sticks in them, they'll drop. So this gives me both wood and sticks. Wood stacks to 16, stick stacks to 64. There's more food there if I want it. And I think I will. This is going to save me having to eat all my food back in the house there. Okay, so I got a stick. So I can get another knife. Let's put that down. You can start seeing that the shadows are getting long. It feels like things are getting darker, and it's getting closer to night. For light sources, fireplace will generate some light source, but we're also going to go back there and use that fireplace to make a couple of torches. And torches are simply sticks in the fireplace while it's lit. They will let them up. I am seriously having some issues with sticks. I'm having a real serious issue with sticks. I'm going to start concentrating. All right, let's go just grab some trees. I think I'm going to have to start grabbing other kinds of trees. Leave pine trees for now. We're going to talk about that later. Is there a tree in here to make this life easy? It's a pine tree, of course it is. Everything I told you to leave. All right, I'm feeling pressure. There's a stick right there. I am seriously surprised at the lack of sticks for me. Usually if you're in any kind of a wooded area, you'll find sticks just laying on the ground. You can right click on them and pick them up. There we go. That's actually fire. No, that isn't one. I thought that might be one. But if you find all these bushes, go ahead and break them down. You don't actually have to use your knife. You can just use a stick or anything else, and it will be just as effective. It might be a little bit slower in the harvest, but it's not terribly slow, and I don't think it's going to affect your overall harvest for first night. All right. But definitely try to get as many of these as you can. Flax. Did I mark that? I did mark that, so it's all good. Is there a tree back here? Nope. This is just a bunch of bushes. It will keep track of how much you've hit and then slowly decay. So if you hit a block that takes 10 hits, you hit it 6 times, and then you go off, hit another block 6 times and come back, it'll actually save some of those hits. But it, like I said, does decay, so it'll start to count down from 6 back to 0 where it's undamaged. That's probably a function of trying to keep track of your how many things that the memory has to keep track of as far as things changing on the map. All right, so I am, up to 19? It's better. Nowhere near where I'd like to be, but it's better. And I have some woods for firewood, so that's good. I've already eaten some food, so I'm not going to be as hungry as otherwise I might be. And I need to get back because I need to do some more securing of the building that I'm in before it gets too dark. It's starting to get there, but I want to grab a few more sticks. I'm on a premium today. All right. Yeah, today you'll see all of the gameplay, and then later on we'll start to cut back where I might do a day or two of work before I get into something. Let's get in over here. This looks pretty clear all the way around. I generally like to grab dirt from around where I'm at. Okay. Now it's getting dark enough that I should be back by my base and finishing off the securing of the base. The fire pit will give off some light. Let's go ahead and get in there. We'll move around, get this. All right, so there was a hole right there. There's a hole here. Super. That's closed off. Is that a hole? Be very careful. Make sure you've got all your holes closed up. That might be one. Nope, it's another block. Just to be sure. I'm being paranoid. All right, and then we'll close off my 2 entries. Would help if I actually got them. And now I'm in for the night. So if you have any grass inside your base, go ahead and grab that just real quick. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the see it off the side here, open it up. There's some more food if I want it. And I've got some stuff for knapping. I've got wood. I've got sticks. I am going to go ahead and chop up this So I'm not going to be using the wood for anything other than the max stack of firewood. Okay. So I have firewood now. Yay. Let's put the firewood here where this was at. I've picked up some seeds, which I really don't need. You can burn stuff. If you look at a tip, wild vine tip, it says burn. But this does not, so you can't burn these. But I could certainly burn that if I want to. Or I can use it for... Hey, look, let's just put some right there. That's pretty. The firewood. So I've got firewood here. I've got a fire. It would be nice to be able to store my firewood somewhere. Hey, if I shift click, so I'm clicking the left control, and I am left clicking the mouse. It will stack the firewood that I've just put there. So now I have it out of my inventory. It's stacked up near the fire. The fireplace doesn't light things around it on fire, so that's good. I do have storage vessels here that I could crack open at some point, but I'm not going to do that. This one actually does open, so it's actually kind of nice. That means I've got a place to store stuff, eh? Cool. I'll use that. I got super lucky with that. This, if I click on it, it won't open. I have to break it open if I want to use it. All right, let's get some more space, more light going on. So I will go tab to open up my inventory. In this case, I think it might be different in the normal mapping, but I have done it that way. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to take 4 sticks, and I'm going to stick those in there. Now those 4 sticks, as you can see, as it heats up to 200 and some 600, it'll tell you what it is. Here it says attack range, burn temperature if I want to burn it, conversion temperature if I want to change this thing into a torch when heated. The tool tips here are awesome. They really are great. So I have 3 torches here, but if I want to, I have an offhand. I can click there, and it'll hold it out, and I'll have it for use. I'm going to go ahead and cook up a bunch more of this while it's going. I got my food stored. Now you can do the same things you'd think you normally should be able to do with the torch and stick them around. That looks like it's open. I'll close it. Now, sooner or later, we're going to start hearing our guys going, and that's going to be guys outside. There are some other things here. It's great that I've got water. This is bony soil that we'll be using at a later point in time, but we don't need to worry about that. If I had gotten peat is something you can dig up that also burns. It burns better than wood does. It'll stack as well as the firewood. So if you get that, go ahead and do the stacking. I've got, I have barely enough. Boom, there's my last basket. So I have 4 baskets. I've made some torches. I've shown you how to create the fire starter, place the fire pit. We're cooking up some food. You can also harvest it off the berry plants. We've talked about a short-term place to hide like this. There's one other thing you can do with your short-term area, which I haven't done yet, and I don't think I will because it's already dark. So we'll set it up. You can create what I refer to as a hunting pit. A hunting pit is at least 1 square in the middle with 2 spaces dug out all the way around 2 deep. I prefer a 4x4, so a 4 square area. So put in a 4 square area here that's open, then dig out 2 out all the way around 2 deep, and you can make a 2 square jump. So you can jump into the center, and then everything will come after you into the center, and it gets stuck in the pit. And then when you start attacking it, it can't run away. Running away is something that's going to be very aggravating. I got a lot of space here. This is awesome. All right, let's talk about nighttime. I've picked up some sticks, right? If you do 3 sticks top and bottom, you will create what's called a tool rack. And that tool rack you can place on a wall. With that, when you create stuff, like for example, I want to create another axe, because I know I'm going to be going through axes, I'm going to want to stockpile a few axes. Earlier I said that during the day, while you're trying to do all your collection, don't stockpile. That's because we're going to stockpile now. And that's why we need sticks to be able to grab these things. So when I got that, now I can click on here. I can add it down here, or I can add it up here. There are 4 spaces where I can put this thing. Yeah, they're coming to get me. Let's take the knife. Put that in there too. Grab a knife. If you have an item in inventory that is the same as what you're using, like for example, if my knife breaks, it'll auto replace with the one that's in my inventory. Very handy. All right, I need to do shovels. I want to have 2 shovels, 2 axes at the moment. I might go higher than that, but this is how I'm going to spend my night as I wait for all the critters to come eat me. I'm going to prepare for my next day. So I'll put the axes on the top, the shovels on the bottom. And then I'll do one more of each. Oop, I made more knives. I slipped. Not like I'm not going to go through them, so that's fine too. Alright, I finished knapping up some more stuff, so I'll go ahead and store these. There we go, we got those. I got some extra knives, so because I've got the extra knives, I'll create one more of these. Very intense use of my sticks. Go right next to it. Alright, so we've got that going. I'm kind of hungry. Let's go ahead and grab some more food. I'm just going to do a left or a right click on my mouse. Eat that up. Very good. You can also stack up your torches together if you want to. I suggest you don't necessarily do that. Let me show you why. We'll put one there. We'll put one there. I'm going to stick this down on the ground. If you jump into water and move around, you're fine. If you go into two things of water or you dive down, it puts your torch out. And you can take that torch, you can go back in here and put it back in if you want to. I have to pull that out. Bing. There it is, and it relights the torch. Okay, so you can relight the torch, but if you had a stack of 64 in there and you got into the water but real quick and it all went out, generally people are like, oh crap. Another suggestion I would have is if you are in something like this, we already know that my spawn point is over there. I'm going to stick a torch up on the top here to see if I can, actually I might even move that. Give me my torch back. It is going to stack it every time right there if I'm not careful. They're going to let me do it? I'll put it over there. Okay, there we go. So I want to put up a torch somewhere high so that I can see my base from far away. Torches will burn for 3 days and then burn out. They're no good. You got to replace them. All right, so I think we have talked about all of the things. At this stage, the last thing to do is to do a detailed review of your map. So at this stage, when you've got your stuff snapped up, you're good to go. You can look around to see if there are things. Next thing I need to do is I need to look for discoloration on the map. We saw a few. Here's one right there. There's some right there. There's some right there. Anything nearby? I think there's some right over there. So we're going to be heading to those locations because we're looking for clay next. We need to have a good supply of clay, which also means we need to have a good supply of materials as well. If you are lucky enough to have this is great. Otherwise, I would suggest throw out anything like the seeds here, the maple, the birch, the tree seeds. You don't need them. Just get rid of those. And I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna keep the obsidian with me, so I'm gonna take everything else and put it away. And I'll put the food up here, so it's all together. Oh, I'm stacked on food. All right, well, let's finish this thing off. And get my food bar at the bottom up. So just as far as the UI goes, we talked about the upper right. Very center up in the middle is my info on the block I'm pointing at. So as I move around, you'll see it changes to basalt, muddy gravel, bony soil, fire lit, and it gives me some information about if I keep food in there, how fast will it perish. That is not that it perishes faster. It means that it'll actually take a little bit longer to go down. Right in the bottom left corner, we have the tabs. Again, if you use the Alt, you can unlock your mouse. So that's the left Alt. I can come down here, I can click on the different tabs to see different things. So this is going to be the info log. It's going to tell me about things like if I'm trying to prospect, it'll give me the results in the info log. Damage log is just what it says. And the general log just tells you when you're doing things in the area and things. At the bottom, this is the red bottom bar is my health. The green bottom bar is my food. My hot bar is down here. I can use keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? It's supposed to work that way. No? Yeah. Well, or am I? Oh, I was still locked. There we go. Yeah, you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 10 to pick whatever it is you want to use. So if you want to do a quick connect, if you do the alt, you can also pick up stuff in the in your backpack slots. If you don't have the alt down, you can't scroll through them. Then we'll let you go to those spots. Same thing with your offhand. You can only get to your offhand if you click either into your inventory like that or hold alt. The middle thing there, that lime green gear, that's going to be your time stability. Stability, and you can see here it's 100%. If it gets down to 0, you will switch into a place called Rust World, which means the critters that you hear outside will be coming to hunt you down all the time. And when you're in Rust World, they have the freedom to spawn inside or close to you. Spawning of the drifters, there's a drifter right there. The spawning of the drifters is, they're supposed to be away from you, but generally speaking, they will always spawn behind you where you can, they will not spawn where you can see them, so that you don't see them pop in. But that invariably means they spawn in behind you and whack you in the back of the head. And that sucks. That should cover you on day 1. Thank you again for joining me on this. We'll get into day 2 next. But just keep yourself stocked up over here. But I'm going to do a couple more things, and we'll see you in the morning.
I'm creeping through the shadows in the corners of your mind. I go where the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a